welcome to my channel. Today we are going to learn this very easy summer top. It is a dense stitch, okay, but it's made with cotton yarn, 100% cotton, so it is very good for summer, and it does have little holes in it to breathe in, so the air can come into you. Okay, so and it's the colors are very fresh colors. You feel fresh with that, so it's up to you which colors you use, but give it a try. Sure, give it a try because it's lovely, very easy. Okay, so we are going to learn this. I will show you step by step how to do each and everything, so don't you worry. Okay, so now let's see what we are going to need. Okay, for this project I use cotton yarn by Magic Needle. It's super fine, 100% cotton. Okay, this is the shade number. You can go to their website and see more about this yarn. Okay, these are the washing instructions. These are the recommended hook size. Okay, so I have used all from there early in this 4 colors, so you can decide your colors whichever you need. You can take any cotton yarn whichever you like. Okay, as long as it is cotton, you can use any fine yarn, lace weight, anything. Okay, it's just up to you. Then today's hook I'm going to use is 3.5 millimeter hook. Then we will need measuring tape because this top is all about measuring your body and getting it fit for you. Okay, then we will use yarn needle to weave in all the tails and all. Then a scissor, obviously for cutting the yarn, and some stitch markers to marking the points which we need to sew in and all. I'll tell you in the video. Okay, so these are the things, and get your things ready and then we can start our work. So okay, so this is what we are going to do in this for this project. We are going to create 2 rectangles exactly the same. Okay, follow the pattern and you will create 2 panels. Okay, front panel and back panel. Then we are going to join them. So 2 measurements you will need. First is the full length of the top. Okay, for me it's 30 inches. Full length of the top, how long you need. Okay, then you will need is circumference of your bust, and then you're going to take that circumference, for example for me it's 44 inches, then divided by 2, so I'll get 22 inches. Okay, this will be your second measurement, but for me I'm going to do +1 for getting it little loose fitting. Now this is just an option. Okay, you can just decide what you want. If you want a tight fitting, just stick to the measurements, the first one. Okay, but for me this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this 23 inches for the width of the top. Okay, for the width of the top I'm going to take 23. Okay, then we are going to join the shoulders here and then armhole, and then we are going to keep a slit opening over here, not much. This is also It's up to you if you need. For me, I'm going to keep it. Okay, so I will show you later in the video how to do that. Okay, so with this measurement you will start your work. Okay, so we are going to start this project. We are going to work on one of the panels. Okay, it can be front panel or back panel, it doesn't matter because both are identical, both are same. We are just going to follow the steps and do both the panels. Okay, so first we are going to start with a slip knot, and then we are going to chain 6. 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. Okay, after chaining 6, from the hook in the chain 4, 1 2 3 4, in the chain 4 we are going to put a double crochet. So what I like to do is just turn my chains, and I'll work in the back hump. So in the 4th chain we are going to put our first double crochet in the back hump of the chain. We are going to put first double crochet, then next double crochet in the next chain, we are going to put last double crochet in the last chain over here. Our last double crochet over here, and we have done our first block. Okay, our first block is ready. Now we are going to chain 6 again. So every start of the row starts with chain 6. 1 1 2 3 4 5 6. Every row starts with the chain 6. Turn your work. Okay, and in the 4th chain again we are going to put our first double crochet. In the 4th chain, first double crochet, 1, then in second, our second double crochet, 2 and 3 double crochet here. So now we have got 2 blocks which are just standing opposite each other. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to find this chain 3 which we skipped at the first. We are going to slip stitch in that, slip stitch in that, like this. Okay, we have joined both the squares now, both the blocks. Now what we are going to do is chain 3, 1 2 3, and 3 double crochet in this space. 1 2 and 3. So now we have created another block. Okay, so we have 3 blocks altogether. 1, and in second row we have 2 blocks. In first row it was just 1 block, and in second row we have 2 blocks. Okay, now this is the third row. We have finished the second row. Now for the third row, so for every row for start we'll chain 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, turn your work, and in the 4th chain from the hook we are going to put our first double crochet. So we are just creating a block. So block has chain 3 at the starting, and then 3 double crochet. So 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, and third double crochet. So we have created another block. Okay, now we are going to join that block in this chain 3 from the previous block. Okay, we are going to slip stitch and join, then chain 3 to create the block, and 3 double crochet in the same place. Yeah, so this, and then we have to slip stitch to finish to join the block. So we'll slip stitch in this chain 3 here, our next block, which we can see, slip stitch in that. Then we have to create the block, 1 2 3 chains and 3 double crochet. So now you see our work is also increasing. So every row it increases. We are increasing both the side. Okay. So now again for the fourth row. Now how can you come to know which row you are? You can see, count from one of the side. This side 1 2 3, and the other side 1 2 3. Okay, so in this way you'll come to know that you're on row 3. So now chain 6 because we are starting a new row. 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. Turn your work in the fourth chain from the hook, first double crochet, the second, first double crochet, and in the third, first double crochet. Then we join in the chain 3, the block next to us, then chain 3 and 3 double crochet to create the block. Now whichever the block is which is nearest to us, we are going to slip stitch in that, chain 3 3 double crochet. Then next you can see once we do a block, it is just slipping over or just falling over the other next block to it, and then slip stitch like this, chain 3 and 3 double crochet. And this is how we have created our small rectangle, the start of the top. So we have 4 rows here, 1 2 3 4. So each color will have 4 rows. First, now you have to keep in mind that we have to work 4 rows of each color. Okay, 1 2 3 4 rows of each color. So now what you're going to do when you have finished your row, you're just going to chain 1, pull the yarn little bit. Here I suggest at the start to keep a long tail, because that tail will be used in sewing the other end. So we will match the colors. Okay, and when we match the colors, it is good to have the same color tail so that we can sew in easily. Okay, so now we have finished one color. Now we'll go for the next color. For that, first we are going to turn our work. Now I'm going to grab my second color. So here for me, my second color is this light blue. You take which you have decided second color. Okay, now make a slip knot on the hook. Then here I'm going to insert my hook in the last double crochet over here, on top of the last double crochet here. Then place the loop here, slip knot, and then pull it through. Okay, now we have the loop to start our first next block. So we are going to chain 6 because as it is a start of the row. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, as we have already turned our work, we need no need to turn our work more. Now in the fourth chain from the hook, we are going to put our first double crochet. We are creating the block, then second, and the third double crochet will be just where you slip stitch. Okay, here it will be third double crochet. Done. Now we are just going to slip stitch in this space here, chain 3 and 3 double crochet, and this how we are going to work throughout the row. Okay, and I will see you at the end over here. So now here I have reached here. Now you're just going to slip stitch here, chain 3, 3 double crochet. So now we have done our first row in the color 2. Now we are going to start our row. So I'm going to count the first row here because in this color. Okay, now I'm going to, for my second row, chain 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6. For starting each row, turn your work in the fourth chain from the hook, just make a double crochet, and the next one also double crochet, and in the next also double crochet. Yeah, then next we are going to join over here, chain 3, 3 double crochet, slip stitch here, and same thing till we reach the end. So here I have done my 4 rows, 1 2 3 4. Okay, now when you finish your 4 rows, you're going to chain 1, pull the yarn, remember to keep little big tail. Okay, and then it's done. So we have done with that second color. Then you're going to turn your work, insert the hook on top of the last double crochet. Then we are going to get our next color. If you're changing color, slip knot, then place it on the hook and then pull it through like this. After this we are going to chain 6 as we are starting the row. Then in the fourth chain from the hook, we are going to put a first double crochet, next second double crochet, and in the next where we did the slip stitch will be a third double crochet. Okay, then we slip stitch in the chain 3 here, chain 3 now, and 3 double crochet. So now continue the pattern till the end, and then come back forth, do it again. So now you're going to put 4 rows of this pink color. Okay, and then you're going to just continue changing colors for after every 4 rows, and you're going to do till you get your width. What is the circumference of your half of the circumference of your measurement? You're going to do up till there. Okay, so just going to place like this and measure. Yeah, you're going to measure each after each color change. You're going to measure your work till you get your desired width. Okay, we are first going to create the width, then we are going to decide on the height. And now you just keep on changing colors and go till you get to your desired width. Okay, and I will see you over there. So now I have finished how much width I need for my top. Okay, so this is where I will start cutting the edges, like forming the rectangle. One side will start decreasing and one side we will increase, so that we till we get the length of the top. Okay, so now this is how you'll go for the last square, one square before the last one, then put your square over here, chain 3 and 3 double crochet in that. Now this is the last one here. Okay, then in that we are going to just slip stitch. We are not going to chain 3, we are going to turn our work. Okay, and then we are just going to slip stitch 4 times. Likewise, see, 1, first slip stitch in the first double crochet, second, third, and the fourth one in the chain 3. Yeah, fourth one. Okay, so now you can see we have formed the corner and we are just going to go upward. Okay, this is how we have finished here, and now we are creating the side edging. This will be the side edging. Okay, now from here we are going to just chain 3 and 3 double crochet. So this is how we are going to do for each and every time. So now you go slip stitch in the next square, chain 3, 3 double crochet. So now continue putting your squares till the end, and I will see you over there. I have reached the other end of the top. You can see this other tail. So this is the height we are going to get for the top. So in that, don't forget to put your last square. Okay, we are only decreasing one side and increasing in the one side. Okay, after this, as usual, chain 6, and then in the third chain 1 2 3, turn your work and put 1 double crochet, then second double crochet, and the third one here, turn this side, and then slip stitch in this chain 3, then chain 3 and 3 double crochet. Then we are just going to follow this pattern till the end, and I will show you how you are going to decrease your next square one more time. Okay, so remember that you have to just keep on measuring till you get your length. Okay, so once you get your length, then we are going to decrease both the side. We are going to decrease this side also and that side also, and start forming the rectangle. Okay, so I will meet you end at this row, and I will show you one more time how to decrease in one side. Okay, here is the last square I have, so I will put here my last square. Okay, and this is how we are going to decrease all the time for each and every row from here onwards for this side. Okay, just slip stitch in the last squares, chain 3, this like this, slip stitch, then turn your work, no chain ones. Okay, turn your work and slip stitch 4 times, just in the first double crochet here, slip stitch 1 2 3, and the fourth one will go here, chain 3 which we did. Yeah, it will go here. Okay, so this is how we are cutting off the corners, yeah, and forming a rectangle. You can see here. Yeah, now we start a square, chain 3 and 3 double crochet and work till the end. Okay, so now here's your thing. Now I have showed you how you're going to cut your corner from the corner for the width when you have the width. Now what if you want the height small? Okay, so now for this top you have to remember that this is the side where we have kept for the height. Okay, we have the tails all over here. We are going to use them for sewing on later. So this is the side for the height for you to remember. So whenever you get the height, if you want the height to be small, like a small top, so you're going to just start decreasing the way we did here this side for the width of the top. You're just going to start doing for the height first till you get your width. If you get your width first, like how I got my width first, so I started my decreases over here first, and I'm still continuing on my height till I get to my height, so still increasing, and here I have decreases. So you see the here different, this I have decreased and this I'm increasing. So this what you're going to do. Okay, now if your width is small and height is long, so you're going to continue doing your height and decrease whenever you get your width. Okay, width is the half of the your circumference. Okay, so now I will continue putting till I get my height of 27 inches. I have already got my 23 inches width. Now I'm aiming for 27 inches for the height of the top. So when I get that, I will be back here and I will show you how you're going to do decrease on the other side also. It's just the same, but I will show you. Okay, so don't worry, go ahead and get to your height, required height for the top. Okay, do as many rows you need. Color changes, so every 4 rows color changes, so you do color changes as normal as we did, and meet me here when you have finished your height. Okay, when you finish your height, how much you need, chain one and turn your work. Yeah, then we are going to slip stitch 3 times and come to the chain 3 place. 1, 2, 3, and then in the chain 3 space, chain 3, the first chain 3 which we did, in that also slip stitch. Now chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and 3 double crochet in that. So now we are cutting the edges, and now we are forming the edges for up panel. Okay, so now we are closing from up, okay, to form a rectangle. So now you're going to just continue putting chain 3 the boxes. Okay, chain 3 and 3 double crochet in each, slip stitches next chain 3, and now just continue putting this all the way till down, and I will meet you over here. Okay, so as I had told you, when you reach at the end here, you're just going to slip stitch in that chain 3, then turn your work, and you're going to slip stitch 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So slip stitch in this first double crochet, and the next, and slip stitch in that chain 3 like this, and now chain 3, 3 double crochet in this, and then a slip stitch in the next box. So like this, you're just going to keep on continuing till the end, and I will see you over there. So okay, when you finish here, you're just going to slip stitch like this, and then chain 1 and just cut a small tail, because here we don't need much up here. Okay, cut a small tail and it's done. Okay, now we have to start the new color over here. So what we are going to do, this chain 3 which is there, will insert the hook, grab my next color, make a slip knot. Okay, then keep it on the hook, come on, yes, and then bring it like this and chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, then 3 double crochet as usual we do for creating the square. 3 double crochet and then slip stitch in the next one, chain 3 and 3 double crochet. So this is how we are going to do for each color. Whenever our color gets finished over here, we are going to attach a new color in the same way. Okay, so you go ahead and finish this color the same way how we did for the other colors. Okay, you're just going to decrease now both the side till you have filled in this gap which is there. Okay, we have to fill in the gap, and when how many rows you need to do till this becomes a straight line and this goes like this, and they both meet up at one point. Okay, so before the 4 rows, before finishing connecting everything, I'll meet you over there. So you're just going to go ahead and do back and forth and decrease at both the points. Okay, this side and this side. Okay, just the way we decrease this side, you're going to decrease this side only. Okay, continue doing it. Keep on changing the colors after 4 rows, and I will see you just before 4 rows are remaining. Okay, so go ahead, take your time and finish this panel, and I will see you very soon. So here I have only 4 squares left. Okay, and let us go forward and connect the squares and make it finish. Okay, just going to slip stitch till I reach to the chain 3 space here, chain 3, then chain 3, then 3 double crochet. Okay, once you do, then slip stitch in this, just go as usual you do, chain 3 and 3 double crochet. Then next one, then at the last just slip stitch, done your work. Now we have 3 space 3 squares here, so again slip stitch till we reach to the chain 3 space here, chain slip stitch, and now chain 3, 1 2 3, 3 double crochet in that, slip stitch in this next one, chain 3, slip stitch in the next, done your work. Now chain once, okay, remember, and then slip stitch till you get to the chain 3 space. Then chain 3, 3 double crochet. Now this is the last one square where we are just going to slip stitch in the next one. Okay, and chain 1 now, because now you can see the rectangle is completed, both the ends meet. Okay, this is the finish. I know here we have 1 2 3 4 5 rows, but it all makes sense because we had to cinch it, because we had to bring it to the corner. Okay, so just one extra we had put, at last we have put. Okay, so now as this rectangle, this one panel is complete. Now you are just going to snip the yarn, okay, pull it, and it's done. So now we have to just make another panel just accordingly as I have. Just follow the step exactly the same and do exactly the stripes, the same stripes, and make another panel. So now you remember that this is the side where we are going to sew in, because we have a lot of tails over here. So don't weave in your tails now, because once we assemble together the whole top together, and then whatever we have left with, then we will sew it. So now don't sew any ends, okay, just keep it as it is. And then we will go for the next panel, do exactly the same, and I will see you here. So I have finished my both the panels here, okay, exactly the same. So now what you're going to do is arrange them in such a way that all the stripes matches from all the side, okay, all the side the stripes has to match. Now we are going to try to get our neck. So from this side, one end of our top, what you're going to do is just decide how much you need for the shoulder. Okay, so I'm going to take these two squares, 1 and 2 square here, and that much is my shoulder part. So just take a stitch marker and mark that place. Okay, so this is so 2 sections, so 8 squares this side, and so 8 squares the other side. 2 sections here, so I'm going to mark that place also over here. So that will be my shoulder part, and this will be a neck part. If you want a smaller neck, you can obviously make it more smaller. So this is up to you how you want to make it. Okay, you want to keep it little bit extras big, or whatever is your preference. Okay, so you're going to match here like this. Then we are going to take the tails which we have left. You can see we left the tails over here. So you take one of the tail, okay, and then we are just going to sew it like this, a whip stitch. And this way, okay, see, it's nicely getting connected. If you want, you can do slip stitching or single crochet for joining, as you like. Okay, for me simple whip stitch is good enough. So this is up to you what you like. So this is how we have stitched this part, and then at last we are just going to secure this tail which we have after weaving in the ends, what I like to do is just put little glue at the ends of the tail so that they will remain more firm. Okay, you can do that also, or you can add little nail polish if you have. Yeah, that will also do. Nail paint, clear nail paint or any color. It's better if you have white color. So after securing this, just cut the excess. Okay, and so we have sewn this part. Now this extra tails you're going to weave in later whenever you feel comfortable, or you can weave in as you go. Okay, now for the next color also we are just going to weave this. So I have reached halfway through this. So with the other side of the tail, I'm going to go halfway from this side. So these are the tails for us to weave in our top. Okay, so you just take your time and try to weave in all the part. Feel free to use any method which you like. So on, so okay, and once you see that your tail is short, just weave it in some of the stitches to secure it. Okay, and then you can use all the tails. So it's better if we leave a long tail over here so that we can weave in nicely. Okay, if you meet like this, the two ends, just tie it off, put few knots over there and just cut off the extra end. And you see we have stitched this part over here with all the tails, so the colors are matching nicely, and if you go little up and down, it's no problem at all. Okay, so this is how it is done. So we are going to do the other side also same way with our tails. Okay, we are going to weave in, and I will see you once I have finished weaving in. So now once we have joined our shoulder part together, okay, and our neck is done. So now we are going to go to the sides. Okay, I show you both the sides. So here are both the sides, huh? Okay. And this is the clean side without any tails. Okay, so I'm going to show you how you're going to do. Now what you're going to do is try to keep arm all opening. So you're going to take your measuring tape and from here you're going to measure your armhole opening, how much you need. For me it's 7.5 I'm going to keep. For you, you keep how much you need. You want a bigger opening, a smaller opening, you can keep as much as you need. Okay, you can surely try this top now and just see where you're comfortable with that, because we have stitched this shoulder so it will not run here and there, so you can just wear it and mark the points where you feel comfortable with the armhole opening. Okay, and once it is done, just mark it with your stitch marker up till where you have to weave in it. Okay, and this is how you have marked. Once you have marked the armhole opening, you're going to do another marking on the same side. Okay, that is, we are going to keep a slit opening over here. So this is another thing you're going to decide how much you need. Okay, from here you can just keep it, take your measuring tape and just mark how much you need. Okay, I'm going to just keep nearly 4 inches for me, so this much is enough for me. So I'm going to just take my other stitch marker and mark that place. So now when we are weaving in this side, we are going to weave in this middle section between our stitch markers. Okay, between the stitch markers, whichever section is there, that we are going to stitch with the respective color. So here I'm going to use green color for weaving in, here the orange, here the blue, and so on. Okay, so go ahead and mark your measurements and weave in the middle part. So now here I suggest you to please use whip stitch only, because that will give a little stretch for the garment. So you're going to do exactly the same for both the side of the top, and use weave in, and I will see you once it is done. Okay, one more thing I want to say is I want you to weave in these ends which are remaining for the neck area. Okay, so just go ahead and weave in all these ends which are there. Okay, and then we can do for the neck part. Now for this side, you have the tails to weave in the colors. Okay, so once you marked, you're just going to use the same color for weaving in this portion. Okay, for other side you will have to use the yarn, I guess, but this just use the tails to weave in this part. Okay, so do all the weaving and I will see you here very soon. So okay, I finished joining my both this side, and see, after joining the colors in the side, this is how it is formed. Okay, so this is the armhole here, and this is the neck over here. Okay, and this is the slit. Okay, the sides. Yeah, so now we are just going to put sleeves. We are just few rows for the sleeves. Now you can choose any color from this, whichever color you like, you can choose any color. I'm going to take this orange color here. I'm going to continue with this. Okay, so let's see what we are going to do. So I'm going to grab my that orange color. You take any color whichever you like for the sleeves to be. So make a slip knot. Okay, then for the sleeves, this is the joining part. Okay, so we are going to go in the first, this here we have joined these two groups, these two shelves, like two boxes are this same color. Here we have joined, and here we have the opening for the next one. Okay, so we are going to start from here and end over here. Okay, so let's put a hook inside it, then place my slip knot over here and then pull it. Okay, and then bring my hook out, chain one. Okay, and then we have attached the yarn for here for the work, and then we are going to chain 3 more. So this is 1 chain and 3 more, 1 2 3. So this chain 4 here counts as a double crochet plus a chain 1 space. Now we are going to double crochet in the same place, so that creates a V. Okay, now we'll see here this neck space. Actually it is the chain 3 in which we worked this 3 double crochet. In that we are going to put our next V stitch. So basically what we are doing is keeping this 3 double crochet. So now it is this like laying down or slanting 3 double crochet, but you see this next gap over here, you're going to go in that and just put a V stitch, double crochet, chain 1 and double crochet in that. That's the V stitch. Now we find the next space over here before starting the next block and put a V stitch in that. So in this way you're going to just put V stitch all over. Now this block is finishing, here is the next block starting, so here we are going to put the V stitch. Then this block is finishing, this block is starting over here, the space is there in between them, there we are going to put our V stitch. So in this way we are going to do V stitch in all the places. Okay, and till we reach here at the middle part, and I will show you where we had joined this 2 shoulders for shoulder part. Okay, where we joined there, when you reach over there I will show you how you have to do. Okay, so when you reach over here you'll see this block is finishing, so we have this place over here, so we are going to put the V stitch over here, then just skip this block here and directly go to this place. Okay, and then continue putting in each space before the next block starts. Okay, and I will see you till the end. So this is the last space here. Okay, before this joining part of the middle I will put my last V stitch over here, and then Now we have reached the end, so we are just going to join our round in the chain 3. This chain, we had done this chain 4 in the third chain. Okay, in the third chain we are going to join like this, and this round is joined. Now we are going to slip stitch in the middle of this V stitch. Right, in this middle of this V stitch, make a slip stitch like this. Okay, and now we are going to start the next round. So we are going to do chain 3, 1 2 3, and double crochet in the same place. Double crochet. We are not giving chain 1 spacing this time, but we are just doing double crochet. So now you go to the next V stitch and just do 2 double crochet in that. Okay, so now each V stitch we are going to put 2 double crochet. Next V stitch, 2 double crochet. So just put 2 double crochet in each V stitch which we did previous round till the end. Okay, and I will see you over there. Now when you finish this round 2, you're just going to slip stitch in the third chain, slip stitch in that to join the round, then slip stitch in the middle of 2 double crochet here. So this is a V stitch only, but without a chain 1 space. Okay, now we are just going to repeat this round 2 for another 3 times. So altogether we have 5 rounds of V stitch. First is the big V stitch and 4 rounds of small V stitch. The second round small V stitch we did 4 rounds of that. So how we are going to start the next round? We are going to chain 3, 1 2 3, and then double crochet in the same place. So we are going to start every round with this double crochet in the same chain 3, then double crochet in the same place, and 2 double crochet in each 2 double crochet from the previous row in the middle of that. Okay, it's just a V stitch without a chain 1 space in that. So you're just going to treat it like that. Just you're going to put in the middle of that 2 double crochet, 2 double crochet. Okay, like this. So this is a V stitch with a chain 1 space, and this is without. Okay, so just going to put 2 double crochet in each V stitch till the end, and you're going to repeat it for 2 more rounds, or however long sleeves you want. If you want more longer, you can go ahead and continue putting it till how long you need. Okay, I'm just going to put 5 rounds altogether for the sleeves. Okay, so you just continue, and I will see you after the 5 rounds for the 6th round. Okay, so I've done my all the 5 rounds, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, we are after finishing the 5 rounds for the 6th round. Now we are just going to put a simple border for the 6th round. Okay, for finishing off. After you have finished putting V stitch round, how many times you need for the last border, this is what we are going to do. Slip stitch in the middle of this 2 double crochet, that is a V stitch, slip stitch in that, chain 1 and single crochet in the same place, single crochet in that, then chain 2, 1, 2, and put a single crochet in the same place. So whatever we did a slip stitch, chain 1, and single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, everything in that one V stitch, first V stitch. Okay, now directly we are going to go to the next 2 double crochet, that is a V stitch, and in that we are going to put single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in the same place. Okay, that's our picot, little small picot over there. Yeah, so we'll go in the next V stitch and put the same single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in the same place. Next V stitch, single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet. So now continue this pattern all the way till the end over here, and I will see you over here. Okay, okay, when you finish the last V stitch, we are going to slip stitch. We are going to slip stitch in the single crochet which we did first. In that slip stitch to join, chain 1, pull the yarn little bit high, and then now we are going to just snip up the yarn. Okay, and it's done. So this is how we did the sleeves here. Okay, so this is the sleeve. So you're just going to repeat the same instructions, same way for the other sleeves also, exactly the same. Okay, for the other sleeves also. And once you finish the sleeves, weave in the tail. Okay, weave in the tail, and then I will see you here for the neck part. We are just going to put a small border for the neck area. So a small border for the neck area. So you just go ahead, complete your both the sleeves, and then I will see you over here. Here are my both the sleeves. I have finished my both the sleeves here. Okay, and I have even the tails also. Now we are going to do for the neck part. So make sure that you use the same color which you used for the sleeves. Okay, now just going to take one side of the neck area. Okay, and here where we have joined, you see this gaps here. Okay, this gap over here, you see. Before that, this is actually the chain 3 we have joined together. In that gap, you're going to insert your hook, grab your yarn which you're going to use, make a slip knot, and place it on the hook, bring it through, join, chain 1 for joining. So after the join, we are going to put 2 single crochet in this join, 1 and 2. Then in this here you see 3 double crochet here. So in this middle double crochet, we are going to put 2 single crochet. And the next space which you get, you are going to, in the next space you are going to put 1 single crochet. Then you can see this 3 double crochet laying down, and on top the space which is there, we are going to put 2 single crochet in that, 1 and 2. Next we are going to go in this gap over here, and we are going to put 1 single crochet. Then this 3 double crochet on the third middle double crochet, on top of it you're going to put 2 single crochet. Then in this space you're going to put 1 single crochet. Then on top you're going to put 2 single crochet. So now you're just going to alternate between 1 single crochet and 2 single crochet till the end, and I will see you over there. When you finish your round, just slip stitch in the first single crochet to join the round. Okay, so now we have finished the first round, okay, of single crochet. Now we are going to do the second round. Is chain 1, single crochet in the same place, chain 2 and single crochet in the same place. So we are doing this picot round now. Okay, now skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and in the third stitch we are going to put our picot. Single crochet in that, chain 2 and single crochet in the same place. Skip 2 stitches, and in the third one we are going to do the picot. Single crochet, chain 2 and single crochet in the same place. So skip 2 stitches, 1 and 2. Okay, so here 1 and 2, and in the third one here we are going to put single crochet, chain 2 and single crochet. So now go ahead and do this for the entire round of the neck till you reach the end, till you reach over here, and I will see you over here. Okay, when you reach at the end, I have left this 1 stitch remaining. I will skip that. If you have 2 or 3, you can adjust it accordingly, don't worry. And we are just going to slip stitch in the first single crochet which we did, and that will slip stitch to join, and it's done. Then chain 1, pull the yarn a little bit up, and now we are going to cut the yarn, and that's done. Just pull the yarn out, give it a little tug, and our neck is ready. Okay, so this is the neck area, it's ready. Now we are just going to weave in this tail which we have. Okay, we'll have 2 tails here, one is at the start and one is at the end. So just going to weave in. Okay, that is done. So I will cut the excess, and in that same way I'm going to weave this last one here. Don't worry if you just poke through stitches, that will make the work, the tail more secure. Okay, working through the stitches, okay, that makes it easy to come out when you wash and all. And our top is ready. See, this is the neck. Isn't it beautiful? Our sleeves are ready, and our top is totally ready. So our top is ready, and I hope you liked it. and you make your own and be proud of what you have made. So just remember, I'm just showing the way how to do, but you will make it happen. So be proud of yourself, never doubt yourself, okay? And surely give it a try. It's very simple and very easy. So till the next video with some new interesting crochet project, we'll meet. Till then, take care and bye bye.